gorgeous lot, it's Gran here with another episode of Vintage Story from the Rusty Gear server. Now then, I'm going to do things a little bit differently today for various reasons and complicated ones as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I've been up to since the last video in real terms. It means I'm going to show you today, now, all the things I've done. So that's a bit different, isn't it? And that's because I lost a lot of video. I lost a lot of footage just recently, and I have done a lot. And yeah, so let's just get on with it. Right, if you'll remember this road from the. We've got to use a bit of imagination here. So this is the translator to get to this far north, and here we have my path and my bridge. And as you can see, I have now finished the braziers on the bridge after pinching a cupronickel ingot from the smithy, which I will repay back sometime, and I also got some ember blocks from Sid. Now I used a couple of ember blocks to start off this, and then I used the Jonas palette that I made with the cupronickel ingot from the smithy. So if you can see, these are the ember. This is an ember block that I've chiseled to make it look like what I think is flames. And I didn't feel that they were light enough at night time. So if I jump up and down, can you see just in there one very light voxel? Well, there's a couple in there, and I've hid them underneath to try and get more light on it. So we'll come back at night time to see if you think it's light enough, because I'd like your opinion. See what you think, whether I should add more lighting in there. But I do like them, and when you're walking up and down here, sometimes it looks like they're actually moving. Well, you know what I'm like, you know. Did I hear a howl then? So I've put them all along here, and we'll come back at night time to see the effect. So hopefully I've shown you. I'll have finished showing you what I'm showing you by then. So I've done quite a few more houses in the village, so let me take you around and show you what I've done. Now, in between last episode and this episode, I identified a block that I wanted to build the fireplaces with in each of the cottages, and it needed a lot of clay. And I asked Sid if he knew of a mod that highlighted clay so I could get some easier, and he didn't. But lo and behold, it didn't feel like 2 minutes later I got crates and crates of blue-grey clay. I was flabbergasted, and not only did Sid bring me a load, but Punk brought me a load as well. So now I have loads of clay, and I'm hoping that will do me for the build, but I don't know, because I've got a lot of fireplaces to build. But yeah, if I show you which block I'll show you when I get into a cottage. But there you can see my grey clay bricks that I have fired, and I used the beehive smelter at spawn. But I needed a lot of them, and those are the other ember blocks that Sid gave me, which I love. Very nice, very nice. So, if you remember, when I left you in the last episode, I'd built this house, and I'd built another little one across there, and then I'd just finished building this one. Now, I did get a comment from a YouTube comment about a window, and I think it was related to this house, and I can't remember, because I think when I was showing you this one, there was a window here and I hadn't taken it out. I had intended to take it out, but I hadn't done. So I think that window was related to that. So I think it was from Polite One, I think it was. So Polite One, if you were referring to this house, let me know. If you're referring to one of the other ones, let me know as well. So this is the fireplace, and I saw this fireplace in the Nadia village, and I loved it, and I thought, oh yeah, that's got to be in all my cottages, because I really, really like that. But this was the block that I wanted to make it out of, and if I show you what that block is, it is an irregular irregular grey clay bricks. Now these they're a process. It's a process. So that's what they end up as. But you've got to have these uneven large grey clay bricks to make those with. And to make these, you need large grey clay bricks, some mortar, and the stonemason's blueprint. Now, to make these, you need grey clay bricks. And I just showed you a chest full of them. Well, a chest with loads in anyway. So these, around some mortar, will make those. And then obviously, to make these, you need 4 blue grey clay. So that's why I wanted loads of them, because it takes quite a bit to make one of those. So that was the last one I made, and I also since then have made the smoking chimneys. Now, if you're not aware of how to make these smoking chimneys, oh, that's too close, I can't get up on there with that. Let me come back and put it on that one. Now, can I jump over here? Yes, I can. So, if we have a look at this smoking chimney, you will find that this is a chisel block. So if I knock that off, let me catch it before it disappears, and there we go. And what we've got under that chisel block is a decorative chimney. Now, if I show you a decorative chimney in here, decorative, there it is, look. To make a decorative chimney, you just make an ordinary chimney with grey clay brick or whichever, it takes any, I think. Mind you, that's not changing, so it might not. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, I was using that anyway. I was using the grey clay bricks anyway. And with 2 pieces of clay, they can be any clay, I think, you'll make an ordinary chimney. But to make it into a decorative chimney, you put it in your crafting grid with a chisel, and it can be any chisel, and you'll get a decorative chimney. And that decorative chimney smokes, and it's awesome. It looks gorgeous. So if I put this on here, and this chisel block, which I've just chiseled a hole in the top, and you just right click that on top, and there you've hidden that decorative chimney inside the chimney stack, and it looks superb. I love it, I really do. So I also found that after a long search for gold and silver, I didn't find any. None at all. In all the... And I did find quite a lot of quartz, and some of them were huge amounts of quartz, but I didn't find any gold or silver at all. I wanted silver for lanterns, because I thought that I needed a level 20 lantern to make the Jonas palette, but I didn't. Any lantern would do. So I didn't need the silver in the end, but I still needed the gold because I wanted some night watchers. And as you can see, I have made a night watcher or 2. There's another one down there. And the reason why I could make them was because I had a lot of gold already, and I totally forgot about it. Well, it just didn't twig, really. I had omuk pieces, and I never knew omuk pieces are made from gold and you can smelt them down. So I smelted them all down and made my gold plates so I could make some night watches. And I've got one in my exploration chest, so that if I go into a ruin I can place that and keep the critters away, because Sid does that, you know. So yeah, anyway, let me take you around the rest of the village. So we had that house, and that house done. So behind here, I've done another house here, another little house. I've put fences round some of the backs of some of these gardens. In fact, I've put some around the fronts as well. To do a little gardens, but I haven't decorated them yet and put flowers in. I'll do that when I decorate the inside of the cottages. So I made this little one here. This went down a few steps like this. I'm thinking of putting a cellar in here, but I haven't done that yet. I have done with some of the other houses. So there's the chimney again. So that's a nice little neat one on different floors, and I quite enjoyed doing that one. If we go down here, we see another one. But this one is a bit different from any of the others that I've done, because I've put just one level of the tan wattle and daub, or is it daub and wattle? What is it? Let's have a look. Raw daub, wattle and daub. That's it. It's the wattle that comes first. So I made this is granite down here, cobble granite, and it's got some ashlar blocks in as well. And also I thought I'd do something a little bit fancy, a little bit different to the front step for this one. I don't know why, I just did. And I added an extra bit of support beamage in some places. And I quite like that. Let's go in so you can have a look. So here's the customary fireplace. I've put one of these in each of the cottages. I love it so much. And this one's on 2 floors as well. It also has an upstairs, as you can imagine, because it's quite tall. And this is what the upstairs looks like. So that'll be quite nice to decorate. And also in this one, I've put a cellar in. And this is going to be a little workshop. But I haven't worked out what I'm going to put in there yet. But that's going to be a little workshop. Got granite, granite, polished granite on the floor. Can't get my words out now. And I made a little shelf area there. So yeah, that's going to be decorated as a little workshop for the person that lives in this house, or the family that lives in this house. So that's that one. This has got quite a big garden because it's quite a big house. And then this one is the last one I did. This is a tiny little house. And as you can see, it's got tiny little windows because it's a tiny little house, and I didn't have enough space to put full windows there, so I put little ones in as well. So this is the only space you'll get in this little house, and I'm just working on the cellar for this one. Haven't finished it yet. As you can see, it's a bit grassy down here, and I've run out of cobblestone, so I need to make some more of that. I need to get some more granite. So that's that one, and I put a garden in front there instead of at the back. So if I just go around here, you'll see the completed picture for that one. Now on the other side, I did things a little bit differently as well. I've tried to make all these cottages different, and I'm hoping. I think I've done so far. There's not two the same. So the next cottage to this one is this, and this is a bit bigger than the ones on that side. Well, the little ones on that side. Still got the same fireplace in, which I like, and we have quite a bit of space. I haven't put a cellar in this one because it's more roomy, so that's quite cool. I quite like that. There we go. The next one down is this one, and with this one, because I didn't make the front facing wall as wide as some of the others, I couldn't fit a full window in because I wanted to put a little bit of fanciness around here. So what I did was I took half a block from this block and half a block from this block, and I actually chiselled in a little window. But this window is the same size as a full block. Not quite like those little windows which are half a block over there. So if we go in here, I've actually put a back door as well as a front door on this one. So this has a fair amount of room on it. Okay, so that's that there. Further down, across from the last one that I did, is this one. Now this one's got the chiselled windows in the front as well. And a little bit more space made by this wooden extension here. I quite like those. I've done those on a couple of houses. I quite like those. And this is windowed. I haven't put a back door in this one. It could have one, but I wanted windows in instead. So that's quite an interesting shape of room as well. Another thing I've changed since I first did up here, let me just show you up here again. If you remember up here, I had the, what will I call this? The underpinnings to the eaves of the roof went to a point here. And I was finding it quite difficult, and it took me quite some time to get these right. So on one of them, I can't remember which is the first one I did it on. Not on that one. Was it on this one? It was on this one. If you have a look, I didn't make this go to a point, and it was so much easier, and I don't think it looked to any detriment. I have still got some of the support beams to put on here and round the back there. Haven't quite finished it because I've run out of them, so I need to get some more. And you get the support beams from debarked logs, and I'm using aged logs in the whole of this build, and sometimes rotten aged logs. So I shall be going on some adventures shortly so that I can find some more. So yeah, so once I discovered I could do that much easier, I did them on all of them, and I don't think it takes anything away from them. I'm quite happy with the way they look. I added a little bit more to the corners as well, which I think looks quite nice. I do like the way it crosses there, it looks fab. So that's that one. So behind this one I have done some more houses. So up at the top here, behind the first one that I did this one, and this was the first time I used this chiseling for the windows. This is quite a big one really, and it's got a back door as well. There isn't much space out here for a garden, so I didn't put it at the back, and we haven't got one at the front, but I managed to fit one on the side there in that corner, and I think that goes quite well. And on this first house I put it at the back there. And I got a fruit tree to live. I've put so many of those down in this village, and they've all died for some reason. I wonder if it's because they didn't have enough room. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to keep trying though. And then we've got this one here. Again, we've got that same firing because I love it. Yep, I like that as well. And I think I put the garden for this one at the back. Let's just go around the back. Yes, I have. I put it sort of like on the side, a bit like that other one. It's a long thin one this, but it's not a very big one. Yeah. Another thing I discovered as well that I'd nearly forgotten to tell you. Do you remember in the last episode I wasn't happy with the size of the cover for the door being the same size as the window? But I got round that in the simplest of ways. If I take that off, all I've put on is one of these roof ridges. And oh, I hope that line is not going to get me. But the roofing over the windows, I've just made the same as the rest of the roofing. And then if you put a ridge just over the top, that looks fab. And that's what I meant about it not being the same size as this, or not wanting it the same size as this. And then just putting a couple of little tiny support beams in the corners. I think that works really, really well. And so I changed all the other ones where I'd made it too big, and I've put them in there. So that looks a lot better. I think so anyway. So I made, I've shown you that one. So I decided I wanted a long row. That was a bit close. I decided I wanted a long row of terraced houses. So we've got 4 houses here. I think I'm going to do this on the other side as well. They're quite small, so I am thinking of putting a cellar inside each one of them, just to give it a little bit of extra room. They're not tall enough to get a bedroom in, so I'm not going to do that. But this is what they're like. And each one shares the wall. Each one has a chimney which shares the next wall. So if we come out of this one and go into this one, the chimney is on the same wall. So we've got sort of like a mirror image of each of the cottages for that first 2 and then the last 2 as well. But each one of them is going to be decorated differently, because I wouldn't want the decorations inside to be all the same. And obviously it would show how different they can be, even though structurally they're exactly the same. But I really liked this. I've put a bit of extra beamage on the back there, and I didn't realise until much later that there's different types of aged beamage. There's this is rotten, this is rotten aged support beams. And then if you compare that with just the aged support beams, this is the aged support beams. Can you see? These are a little bit on the rotten side. And I suppose it sort of fits, because this village has been here for many thousands of years. And to me, that makes it all the more logical that each cottage would be different, because you'd think that maybe it only had one cottage outside the wall, and then over the years they've added more and more and more. In the Game of Thrones books, Wintertown is described as mostly deserted during the summer, when less than 1 in 5 houses were occupied by the small folk. It filled up when winter came. The village came right up to the castle walls, only separated by a market square with a well in the centre, and that's how I will build it, which is quite different from how it's depicted in the films. In the films, Wintertown is built quite away from the walls of Winterfell. So, it's 4:30, so I wanted to try and get a look from overhead. Now, I haven't got an angel belt, so I'm just going to take the ladders up quite high so we can get a view from above to see what the village looks like so far. I mean, I know you can see it on the mini-map, but it's not quite the same as hovering over it. There. So that's what I've been working on since the last video. Now, I'm hoping that I can do another house there and a couple more, probably one there and one there on either side of this main road. And this main road is going to go straight up to the gates of Winterfell. On this side, I'm hoping to do another terraced series of houses that are terraced like that. Probably around here somewhere, or maybe even a little bit further up. If I do it a bit further up, I shall fit another house in here. And then probably another couple of houses here, and then we will come up to the square, which is the square that leads to the gates of Winterfell, which is going to be a grand gate. It really is. And the square, it's a market square, so there'll be market stalls in and whatnot, and there'll be a well in the middle. So that's what it's like at the moment, and that's what I'm planning. So let's see that I can get it down without falling off this ladder. Ladders for me, they're a little bit precarious. There we go. Another thing to mention is, have you noticed my wheel? I mean, I don't expect to spend any time down here other than walking through it, so it's not really going to affect you that much. But when you're working on here, every so often it gets low enough to start making you hear all these weird noises that you find when your wheel is temporarily unstable and it gets down to a certain level. And so it's at that point that I usually take a break and either go up to the tent and do something inside, or feed the animals, or tend to the gardens, or I go into the village and I'm doing some crockery or whatnot. But getting out of this area just to restore my temporal stability. So we're going to do that now. And I've got my, you can see this is quite well worn. I've got my rune that's going to take me up to the tent. Here we go. And I've made it. I've made the beacon outside the stable because I'm often out with Norbert, and if we're out and about and I just want to get quickly home, then we can both come back to the stable. If I put this in the house, obviously it wouldn't fit, would it? I wouldn't be able to get him out then. Oh. And I have started taking my tent with me when I go about, and we'll go as far as I want to and put the tent down and start exploring. Now, if you remember on a previous video, I explored all the caves on this build site with Sid and Punk, and we found quite a few ruins. Well, I marked the chords of those ruins, and I should be able to go straight down into the ruin from the surface. I've already done that with one of them and got quite a lot of ancient wood, which I thought was pretty good. But I've got a few more I can get some ancient wood from. And Sid's also identified some of the big sort of structures I can get some wood from as well. We'll go back when it's night time and have a look at that bridge so you can tell me what you think about it. But right now I want to show you something else, because one of the times that I took a break from building the let's have a look, building the cottages in the village, and I just heard that shouldn't be open. I just heard a little twitter of a trader, and I want to see. Oh, he's a treasure hunter. He doesn't sell amok pieces, and he doesn't sell. Oh, I usually buy one of those because the storm shelters are so poor these days. I can't get anything from them. I do try every so often, but the last couple of times I went down, I couldn't get any temporal. Oh, there's somebody in here. You know, I couldn't get any of these temporal gears at all. What have we got here? Survival goods. No, you didn't sell anything gold either. I have bought halite stones sometimes, but only when I've been desperate. Okay, thank you. Right, so what I wanted to show you was I'd extended. Let me just go in here. I've extended my base. Let me put those in there. There we go, building up nicely. I've extended my base, and it's through here, and I'm really chuffed with it. So I'm going to have to show you. Look at this. Let me show you. I've got to close those doors because that's my larder that's keeping my food fresh. So let's start round this side then. I've been using these damaged stone overlays because I think they're absolutely fab. I'm using them on the village build as well, where I can, and I'll be adding some more a bit later. But for now, I'm using claystone, dry stone for the inside of this extension. And I've got the rest, the plain stone at the back there is all claystone because I'm in a claystone area. And on the floor, I've got claystone stone tiles. And these are fab as well. They've got some in the village in a few places. And I've never used them before, but they're really, really handy for changing up the texture on the floor. They look raised, don't they? Well, they are raised, I suppose. But you can put things on them. Look at that. I know it goes through, but they don't stop you from placing things. I've got one underneath there as well. But I love them. I love them. Really nice. So in this first alcove, I've got the vertical racks with my moulds on, or the moulds that I've got. I've got this area here, which I usually have empty crocks on, but I've just filled my crocks by doing some cooking in here. So I have got a lot of crocks in there. And then these are just empty. Most of these are empty. I've got some bits and bats from the mechanical things that I've done. And I need to get some more peat as well. After this flurry of cooking I've done, I've gone right down on my peat and my cooking pots, and nothing in that one. But that first alcove is to do with cooking and stuff. Here we've got a bunch of crates, and I've been keeping up with my charcoal making, so that I've got some. I've got some brown coal that I got from that hole behind my base, if you remember, right at the beginning. And I've got one piece of black coal there. I don't know where that came from. I think I found it in a vessel or something. And then we have a load of chests over this side. A load of chests. Some of them are, a lot of them are empty, but I'm beginning to fill them up with ruined rubble and stuff. So this first alcove is what I've collected from the traders, and I want to get as many of these as possible. Things like the planters and the plant pots. I've got as all the tapestries that I can. I think I've got some more over here because I filled over that one. I found that one in a ruin. The traders don't sell that one. But I think these are all the ones the traders sell, unless there's some very rare ones that come up very, very infrequently. So, and I've got vessels there. I keep adding to that, because they're going to be spread about my build as well. What else have I got? Paintings. I'm getting paintings as well when I see them. I've got some wallpaper here. I don't know where I'm going to use that, but I keep thinking that it might come in. So every so often I keep getting some. This one has got the ruin stuff in it, as you can see. And there is a little graveyard that is in Winterfell by one of the builds in there. So I'm collecting gravestones as well, so I can make that look as authentic as possible. We've got all sorts of things from the ruins here. And those will be in my build somewhere. I've got more on here as well. So I've tried to separate them out because these are sort of my more metal bits over here. Because, of course, weapons were very important in Winterfell. It was a place that needed to be strongly defended, and it was very defensible as well because of its structure. But weapons were important, and they were always practicing using their weapons. I'm collecting a lot of rubble as well, because if you can imagine in the medieval days, there was a lot of rubble about. And so I'm collecting that, and I should be using it. Another thing about Winterfell was that it was built on hot springs, and they used the hot springs to actually warm the living quarters within Winterfell. So I need lots of rusty pipes, because that's how I'm going to be transferring that hot water to all the rooms within the living quarters, if I can. So, yeah, lots of space for more. And of course I've got lots more to do. I don't think there's much in this one. Did I put anything in here? Ah, yes, I'm collecting some items of clothing. I'd like a little wardrobe somewhere. And then I've got all the Jonas parts I've got so far. I've got some jewellery in there, because I keep coming across it. I don't think I've got much in this one. I think this is all empty at the moment. Yeah, but I'm hoping... Oh, what's in there? Ah, right, yeah, I didn't know where else to put these. But these were from a ruin as well, these coffins. And then this one here. I don't think there's anything in here. There we go. That's it. Now, you may have noticed that I've removed all my mechanical stuff from the middle here. Now, I was really chuffed. I was really chuffed with this, because this didn't take me long. I think when you mess about with this sort of stuff over a period of time, you just get used to it. And on one of Punk's recent videos, he was messing about with stuff like this to get his smithing room sorted. And I hadn't thought of using one of these big wheels before. I know there's one, or well, there's a few in the smithy in the village, but I hadn't thought to use them. But if you have a look, the windmill is up there and comes down, and I moved where it would come down in this room over to the middle, because it was only a small room and I thought that was all it was going to be. But then when I extended like this, I couldn't have that in the middle. I needed it to the side. So I had to go, and look at that. Look at that. Let me just show you. Let me just remove one of these. Hopefully I won't break it all. And there you can see there's a big wheel up there and cogs coming down from the windmill up there. And then it goes along here, and then another cog and axles down to this one here. And it looks complicated, but all this works with just the addition of one cog. Right, let me show you. So if I take one of these cogs, I haven't had a cog on all of them all at the same time, mind. I don't know if there's enough energy for that. But here, with my pulverizer, if I just add a cog there... Look at that! That's awesome! It really is. Depends, obviously, how the wind's blowing. Let me take this off. Okay. Now, you think that would rip me to pieces, but it doesn't. It doesn't. I can walk right through there without a problem. And then my anvil, me health hammer, if I put that on there. Look at that. Look at that! Oh, I'm well chuffed with this. I really, really am. Well chuffed. I can't believe that I've got so far in the game that I could actually make this corner. And then, of course, my quern. And I just have to add it there. Look at that. So that's my little mechanical corner. And I am so chuffed with that. I can't tell you. I really can't. So let's put this back in here. Nice. Nice. So there we are. I've got some crates here with my ingots in. I haven't got many. I've been using them, but I've got 1 copper ingot left. I've got 5 tin bronze ones. I've got 4 iron ones. I've got 14 lead, 2 tin, and 14 meteoric iron. And that's lead solder down there. So no, I haven't got a lot of ores, but I will be collecting more. I've got some nuggies in there as well. So yeah, when it just all flowed and came together really well, did this, and it didn't take that long at all. It really, really didn't. So chuffed with it. So chuffed with it, I am. This, as I mentioned, is my food cellar. And if you have a look, I've got some hefty red meat stew up there for over a year. So it works well, does this cellar. It really does. I've got some there that I've had quite a while and they're rotted. So I'm going to be... The ceramic ones have a problem with those, so I'm going to chuck those away. But these, I could reuse those once the rot's out. And this is my the place where I've been doing... Well, I've been making my cheese. And I've been making wine as well. And I've also been putting the rot in. And I've had plenty of rot. Come over here, let me show you. I'm not kidding. Hang on a minute. There, look at that. I have got 2 stacks of compost already. And the reason why I've got this and I'm saving this up is because in Winterfell there is a massive greenhouse that caters for their veggies during the long winter, well, years, should I say, not months. Because Winterfell, they have winter every several years, and when winter comes, it lasts a long, long time. Not just a season, but years. So they have their own massive greenhouse where they grow all their veggies. So I'm gonna have to build one of those as well. So I'm saving this so that I can make terra preta. So that's gonna work the best in those greenhouses. So yeah. So I'm right chuffed about that. I need to make some. I've got these I've just picked, and I had loads and loads, and I gave some to Sid and I gave some to Punk. Punk was using it for his pallets for his big build, and if you go onto Punk's channel, you'll see what build he's building, because it is pretty awesome. It really is. I've got to go and have another look at it because it's just awesome. It really is. Okay, right, it is past midnight, so we want to get over. In fact, I don't know why I'm going up there. I can just use this to get to the build site, because we need to have a look at that bridge in the dark. So let's go, and let's go. This is the first house, and I use this for the beacon, so I could get here quite easily. Here we are. So I'm going to take my... well, I'll take my lantern off when I get down this, because I don't want to be in the dark going down here. Right, let me take this off now, out of that first slot. So this is what the bridge looks like now. Now it does light it up. It's very red, isn't it? But I'm just wondering if it should be a bit lighter than this. And I'm wondering if I put more of those light voxels in, whether it would shine brighter. I think it did shine brighter when I just put the 2 in. But do I need it brighter than that? Do I need it brighter than that? Let me go back over here. Hopefully nothing's going to be here to get me. It doesn't look too bad, does it? I just can't make up my mind. I really can't. So tell me what you think. What do you think of the bridge? Now it's got the lightings in. And to me, what I tried to create were braziers with, if I go up a little bit, I've sort of put a bowl in the bottom, or I've chiselled a bowl in the bottom. And to me, that bowl is full of oil. And these are the flames that come from the oil that is lit up. So that's where I've got that from. And that's why I've done them the way that I've done them. But I still feel that it should be a bit lighter on here. So tell me what you think. I also want to use the top of those braziers for lanterns throughout the village in different places. So I'd probably use... You see, if it was in the village, it would need to be lighter, wouldn't it? I know I've got... I mean, I could just leave these on, I suppose. But I just wanted some continuity between the lighting I'd put on the bridges, on the bridge, and the lighting throughout the village. I wanted to stick some of those because they are part... The bridge is part of this village. To me it is, anyway. It's not on Winterfell. In Winterfell or Wintertown, there isn't a bridge like that. There's just a straight road coming from King's Landing all the way up to Winterfell. And that meets when the king came to visit Ned Stark and ask him to be Hand of the King. He came up the King's Road and went into the East Gate, and that's the gate that I'll be building there once I finish building the village. So that's about it. That's about it for this episode. So I hope you like the village. Let me know what you think. If you have any tips, tricks or suggestions, let me know. And yeah, I think it was polite one, did I say? And I think it was this house he was talking about, a window, because I just finished building this window on the video they commented on. I don't think it was one of the other ones, because I didn't have a problem with the window, I don't think. It's got to have been this one. Sorry, but it's been a while, you know. I've done a lot since then, so it's hard to remember which one it could be. So yeah. So take care, everybody. And I'll see you in the next episode. I might do all my episodes like this, if you quite like this. Or if you'd like some detailed work when I do things. I could maybe do a mix of the two. So tell me what you think. And I'll see you in the next episode. Now, are you keeping watch? Are you keeping watch? You're keeping them away, are you? I must say I haven't been bothered by anything since I put you there. What was that? No, I can't see anything. There's some red clay there. I think I might pick that up before I build on top of it. So I'm going back in. It's raining down here. Can we see it from here? Oh, look, it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger and bigger. Oh, look at that.